Hi guys, this is Sydney. Today I am here to film a haul video as I was recently in Korea. I didn't actually buy a whole lot of stuff because I was kind of unwell when I first got to Korea, and then it just got too busy that I couldn't really go out and do like a proper shopping. So these are the stuff that I actually just picked up randomly on my way to somewhere, or the things that I picked up online and got it delivered to my hotel room. So yeah, nonetheless I thought I would still film a haul as some of you guys requested to see one. So I'm gonna get started with the skincare bits first. I didn't bring a whole lot of skincare products back with me because they tend to be very heavy, and I just have so many new skincare products. That's like my things to try drawer full of like new products that I still haven't tried. So I thought it would be kind of silly for me to just go out and buy a whole lot of skincare products when I still have a lot to try. So I just kind of picked up my necessities, and I obviously had to bring back my favorite Ampule from COSRX. These are the Propolis light Ampule, which I'm not going to talk about too much because I always rave about these. I still have a few in my drawer, but I just thought I would bring some more back because it was on 1+1 sale, so I got two for the price of one. I also got my favorite toning pad from COSRX. This is the green one, which is the Green Hero Calming Pad. I actually bought one as soon as I got to Korea because I finished using my previous one, and I'm still using that, and this is my backup. The reason why I prefer this to the red one and the blue one is because I feel like this is so much better for my very sensitive and kind of sometimes irritated skin. So I always feel like I have to have a backup of this. Then I also came back with one of my favorite skincare bits from LANEIGE, and it's their Cream Skin, which is the toner. I am still using one at the moment, and I do have another backup, but I feel like I go through this quite quickly because I use it with a cotton pad to go around my face and wipe it, and then I also like using it directly on my hands to kind of pat it into the skin. So I do find myself to go through it quite quickly, so I bought a backup. And then I also have this 3C Mystery Water. This is actually the one I purchased myself, but I am using one at the moment that was actually sent to me by the brand. I actually bought this even before I got to Korea after seeing it on Instagram because I just couldn't wait to try it. I do really like this mist because it's slightly on the oilier and greasier side. So the reason why I don't really tend to use a lot of facial mist is because if you just spray it on the face and kind of leave it on for a while, it just kind of evaporates, which leaves my skin feeling really tight and dry. So that's the reason why I don't really like using facial mists. But with this one, since it has that tad bit of oiliness to it, it doesn't leave your skin feeling too tight or too dry even after spritzing it on the face. So I have been using it every single time I'm doing my makeup to kind of give that glow and keep the oiliness and the moisture into the skin. But I feel like the nozzle, this bit, just comes up too easily. So in fact, this is the one I'm using currently. The nozzle is so like, I think I've lost it quite a few times that I just found it in my room and then put it back, but I just literally can't find it now. So I would have to either start using this new one or transfer the nozzle here and then use it and finish it up and then go back to this one. So that's the downside, but I do really love the content, and I hope they maybe change the packaging a bit. And then moving on to the base product, I had to pick up my favorite cushion from Velvet, and it's the Aura Glow cushion, and this is shade 21, which is the one I used to use before, but this is a darker shade, which is shade 23 in natural. The reason why I bought this is because on some days I feel like shade 21 looks a bit too pale and light on my complexion, so I thought I would give this shade a go, which actually doesn't look that dark on my skin. As you can see, shade 23 isn't that much darker than 21, which is a shame because my sister really wanted to try this, but obviously these are too light for her. I just love this cushion so much. It's so moisturizing, it keeps the glow all day long, so I had to pick up more. And whilst I was buying the cushion at the Shinsegae department store, I also bought this Perfect Cover Concealer Pencil by Velvet, and it's the shade Light, and it's like a retractable concealer pencil that isn't too soft or too hard, so I feel like the texture is quite good. And the reason why I bought this is not to really cover any spots, but to kind of use it around the lips whenever I'm touching on my lips, because I just thought the texture is quite good to use around the lips and around the nose as well. So I have been really enjoying this pencil. And then I also had to stock up on my favorite 조성아 22 24-hour Rabiema cream. I actually bought 3 and I'm using 1 at the moment because I finished my previous one. They do have like version 1 and 2, and I believe these are version 1, which are the original ones. I haven't tried version 2 because I still could get my hands on the first one, so I got 3 more of these. And then I got 2 highlighters. One's from Misha, and this is the Satin Highlighter Etal Prism in the shade Touch of Light, which as you can see is this kind of goldish highlighter. Then I also bought this Clio Prism Air highlighter in gold shade number 1. And as you can see, the Misha one is slightly darker in color and more goldish, whilst the Clio one's slightly lighter and it's more on the champagne-y side. So I feel like Clio one is slightly more wearable on a day-to-day basis. But both of them are really buttery smooth and so finely milled, so I have been really enjoying both of them. So I'm glad I got these 2 highlighters. And then I got 1 contouring powder from I'm Mimi, and it's the I'm Multi-Square in number 1 All About Contouring, and it has 4 different shades, which is so handy. I have been using the lighter shades on my nose, and I've been just mixing all the colors and applying it on the jawline, and I just feel like it's so compact and very affordable, so I would highly recommend this one. And the rest of the products are all lip and cheek products, I think, and I thought I would show you my favorite finds from my trip this time in Korea, and it's the Too Cool for School Art Class Nuage Cheek and Eye. And if you have watched my previous makeup video, you would have seen me using this. I got all of the shades because I just thought they were all so wearable and so pretty. The one I'm wearing today is Rosy Suede, which is number 3. There's shade number 1, which is like a really pale pastel-y peach. It's got a lot of white in it, so it's very pale. And then there's shade number 2, which is my personal favorite. So it's like a pastel-y peach, but that's not as pale as the first shade, and also a lot more peachy. This is a lot more yellowy, I feel like. So I personally really love this color. Then there's shade number 3, which is my second favorite color, and it's the one I'm wearing on my cheeks today, and it's called Rosy Suede. It's just this kind of muted pinkish shade. And then there's shade number 4, Mellow Red, which isn't really a reddish color. It's just like a deep warm orangey rose shade. And then there's shade number 5 called Brown Warmer. It looks like that, which is like a darker beige. And like I said, my personal favorite shades are shade number 2 and 3. And the reason why I love these so much is because they are so easy to blend on the cheeks. With these kind of liquid products that are meant for your cheeks, they are either too slippery or they're quite tricky to blend, but they are so easy to apply on the cheeks. I don't use it on my lips, although it's claimed to be the cheek and eye, because I do get a lot of cold sores on my lips, so I just thought it would be not safe and kind of unhygienic for me to use it on my lips and on my cheeks as well. So I only use these on my cheeks. And then I have these 5 powder blushes from Romand, and they are called the Better Than Cheeks, and I have purchased all of the shades because so many of you guys recommended these on my Instagram, so I just thought I would buy all of the shades. The first shade is Tangerine Chip, which has got a lot of yellow in it. It's a very yellowy coral shade. Then there's shade number 2, Peach Chip, which is less yellowy and more peachy, so it definitely looks a lot more flattering on my complexion. And then there's shade 3, Blueberry Chip, which is this kind of toned down lavender pink, which is another one of my favorite shades. Then there is number 4, Fig Chip, which is like a darker kind of orangish shade, which I think would look great during the autumn season. Then there's shade number 5, Cherry Chip, which I was expecting to be darker, but it's actually paler than Fig Chip, which is quite surprising. It's slightly muted peachy shade. Texture wise, I think these are meant to kind of fill in all the pores and the wrinkles on the skin to give you that kind of very smooth smooth look. I had to be very careful when I was using these, but obviously when I was doing these swatches, I wanted to show you guys the color really well, so I did apply quite a lot and my cheeks felt so tight. So I would have to be very careful when I'm using these. I think it's very important to use the right amount on the cheeks. And speaking of romance products, I got all of the Zero Velvet Tints. I got all 6 shades. I initially bought shade number 1 in Melting first, and I just fell in love as soon as I tried it, so I bought the rest of the shades. Melting is this kind of coral that's very, very vibrant, and I feel like I have been reaching for this shade the most out of the bunch. And then there's shade number 2, Joyful. So this is like a darker orangey shade than Melting, so these two together actually look really good. Then the shade number 3, Percy Red, which is my favorite shade. This is like a cool toned red. To me, that's like the perfect red. It just looks so flattering on my skin tone and it just instantly brightens my complexion up. And there's shade number 4, which is also my favorite. And it's actually what I'm wearing on my lips today as like an all-over base shade. That's Burnt Heart, shade number 4. There's shade number 5, which is my kind of least favorite shade because these kind of shades don't look that flattering on my complexion. But I feel like a lot of you guys would love that kind of chilly shade. Then there's Deep Soul, which is the last shade. And this is the one that I'm wearing in the kind of inner part of the lips, mixed with Burnt Heart. And it's that kind of brownish dark nude, I would have to say. It's a very Instagram kind of lip shade, I feel like. Texture wise, they are very, very velvety, powdery, but they do feel super light on the lips. That's why I think they are called the Zero Velvet Tints. I do love the texture so much and I do really love how they look on my lips, so I'm glad I got all of the shades and I highly, highly recommend these. Then I got some more lip products from Lily by Red. I bought the coating tints and the velvet tint, but I only got one of the velvet tint and got 4 of the coating tints. The reason why I only got one of the velvet tints is because I do have so many lip products that kind of claim to be velvety. So I only bought one in shade number 3, 청초한 살구인 척, which is pretty, but I feel like the texture and the color, I could easily find something like this elsewhere, so I'm kind of glad that I only got one of the velvet tints. Then I got the coating tints, which I definitely prefer than the velvet tint. I have shade number 1, 수줍은 복숭아인 척, which is the one I used the most out of the bunch because it's this kind of a very fluorescent coral. Then there's shade number 2, 여리한 오렌지인 척, which I didn't use it as much because it's like a really yellowy, tangerine-y shade, which doesn't look that flattering on my skin tone. So I haven't been reaching for this as much, but I think it would look great during the summertime. Then I have shade number 4, 시니컬한 앵두인 척, which I feel like would be a really great like day-to-day lip shade. Last but not least, I got shade number 5, 비밀 많은 자몽인 척, which I did use quite a lot along with shade number 1 because it's like a darker grapefruity orange. I mean, I do reach for the coating tints quite a lot, but I feel like if you apply too much on the lips, it would kind of separate on the lips and leave like a really messy look. So you have to be careful to not apply too much on the lips. So those were the tints from Lily by Red. And then I think these are the last products because I think I honestly, somehow I lost them either in my hotel room or on my way back here, or they're still somewhere in this room but I just can't find them. Anywho, these are the last products to show you guys today, and they are the 228 eyeshadow fan brushes from the 2Lab, which looks like this. I used this brush in my first impression video recently and I did just fall in love with it because it kind of applies the eyeshadows and blends it out at the same time, I feel like. So this is a really handy brush. I thought I would pick up 2 more, so I have 3 in total. So I think that sums up my haul from Korea. I'm surprised that I didn't pick up any eye product, which is so weird. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I'll see you guys again in my next one.